Good afternoon, everyone. I, Bhavani Bisht, PND Head at BVPIEEE IAS, welcome you all on behalf of our team to our exclusive webinar on the vehicles of the future, that is, electric vehicles. EVs are vehicles that are either partially or fully powered on electric power. Today, we feel honored to have Mr. Revanth Guthala as our guest speaker for this webinar. Mr. Guthala is a pass out of IISC Bangalore and has worked as a data scientist at Airtel. He is currently working as the lead data analyst at Yulu. His expertise lie in various fields like data science, statistics, data analysis, and data visualization. We warmly welcome you, sir. Now, I'd like to request sir to take over and kindly proceed with the session.
Thank you, Bhavani.
Thank
Good afternoon, everyone. So, is this kind of repeated audience what you had last time, or is it new set of audience you're having? I think we had one session around 1 month back.
So, on Tableau.
Yeah, on Tableau. So, is it same set of audience or is it
So,
okay?
some are common, some are new.
Okay, right. Good. So, how are everyone? What's going on? I think the college is closed because of this COVID cases.
Yes, sir. So it never actually opened properly.
Okay, fine. Sure. Then we'll start now. So today I'll give the basic definition of what are the electrical vehicles. So as everyone know, at least the basic definition of electrical vehicles. We'll also discuss the problems of the electrical vehicles. What are the challenges? So why we are there is a lag, there is a gap between the adoption of the electrical vehicles in the country like India. And if you see countries like Europe and Australia, they have electrical vehicles. If you see on the road, in the countries like first world war countries, they have 50% fuel vehicles and 50% electrical vehicles. But that is not in the case of India. We'll also discuss why it is not happening. I'll share the screen and I'll also send the PPT to everyone so that you can have this interface. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me as a guest speaker for this session. And it's very nice. BVPIEEE is very active in conducting webinars and sharing knowledge. And today, you people are like much interested towards to know about the electrical vehicles. So thank you so much for nominating me as a speaker for this session. And I hope this next 30 minutes will be uh, much productive for you and you'll get a lot of information and you learn something new. So, and for the people who are first to this to my session, the people who doesn't have idea on my background what I am. So I just want to explain. So I'm a lead data analyst in Yulu. So Yulu is a first mile and first mobility and last mobility electrical vehicle company basically. So if you are from Bangalore, you, or if you have visited Bangalore, you might have seen this kind of short bikes, very small bikes, which will be at around your like height. So anyone have been to Bangalore in this call? How many people were there?
No,
Anyone
but
have?
the Yulu bags are like pretty common in Delhi too nowadays.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I think it is there in Delhi also, right?
Yeah, it's very common here also.
It's very common
Sure.
in North Delhi, like in the university areas. Yeah, I've also seen them. Yeah.
So I think even they're trying to expand in a few universities as well. If you take the campuses like IIT Delhi and a few MDA Gurgaon, they have very pretty large campus. It takes a lot of time for a student to walk from the example canteen to the classes. So even there is other sort of vehicles they're planning to introduce in universities. Basically, I think we will implement this plan in this year. I'll say what Yulu is. For example, as I mentioned, it is a first mile and last mile company. So you go there, like if you travel from Chandni Chowk to Noida or Gurgaon, Chandni Chowk to Gurgaon in metro, and in Gurgaon, your from metro station to your home is like around 2 to 3 kilometers. So you don't want to waste money on the cabs, which will cost you around like 120 rupees or 100 rupees. And if you get down from the metro, you will have a set of Yulu vehicles in a parking area, or you can say that as a Yulu zone. You take your mobile and open the Yulu app and scan the bike, and you ride it, and you drop at the respect to or your nearest Yulu zones near to your home. So, for example, for 2 to 3 kilometers, it will charge you like around 30 rupees or 25 rupees. So, why electrical vehicles? Like, why what Yulu is actually contributing? So, first thing, they are saving you money, and second thing, they are actually decreasing the carbon dating. So, and which is very like much of environmental friendly. I'll also explain this. What is it? What is a carbon footprint uh, in this session also. So, as I mentioned, like I'm working as a lead data analyst in Yulu. So before that, I worked as a data scientist in Airtel, and then I did my masters from IISC Bangalore, and I have done certifications from PhD diploma in mobile computing, CDAC, which is from Pune, and I also suggest like if you people are freshers or you're passing out from the college, so once you're stuck up with what to do in the like after your graduation, you can opt for CDAC certification courses. Personally, it helped me a lot. It is from the central central government. My friends who have been in CDAC, they are in very good positions now. You can go. It's like 6 months course, so you need not spare like 2 years or 2.5 years on particular masters. It is very much subject to, and you get a lot of hands-on practice also. And I have done PGP exchange course in IIM Bangalore. So while I'm studying in IISC Bangalore itself, I did my PGP exchange course in IIM Bangalore. So I have done a PGP exchange course in operations, and before doing my masters, I worked in Infosys for like almost 2.5 years. So I can say my total overall experience, working experience is 5 years, and the masters is 2 years. So I can say after graduation, this is my journey for all 7 years. I'm also present in IGBI IISc Bangalore, and I'm also delegate at Europe India Joint Call on Smart and Integrated Local Energy Systems. So these are my certifications and conferences. So so we'll discuss about like what are the contents, major requirements, future goal, sneak peek, stages, and conclusion. So what you're going to discuss? So these are like set of requirement. Uh, this is a set of requirement I got from Harshpreet. So, he said, I can also bound to these particular points. So these are like one-on-one discussions or like group discussions. You are open to it. We'll do this. And after explaining what are the technicalities in the electrical vehicle, I'll also explain. You can also ask the questions why, as I mentioned, why you're getting the gap. We are not able to success as much as good like in the first world war countries in electrical vehicles when coming to India. So we'll discuss about prospects of electrical vehicles in India. Is Tesla ready for moving in Indian roads? So Tesla, as everyone knows, Elon Musk owns Tesla. Elon Musk owns companies like Tesla and SpaceX. So these two are the major shareholders of Elon Musk. So as everyone know, Elon Musk he became world's first richest businessman, I think, for 1 week. And yeah, his major business is into electrical vehicles and are also hybrid vehicles and space, which is space business. So we'll also talk about this, and you can give your ideas also. And it's like you can also give your ideas. Is Tesla is really good to go in Indian roads? And electrical vehicles are the future because it is zero emission, low maintenance cost, and low fuel cost. But the problem is the battery life and the cost. But when the problem is solved, so the major problem with the electrical vehicles is battery optimization. I'll also discuss this one. How can a charging time and maximum range of electrical vehicles can be increased? About future opportunities in India, and how much efficient EVs can be compared to normal vehicles. So, what are the products or items whose demands would increase after the EV? How electrical vehicles are sustainable, provided generating electricity through coal is the most sought after method to produce electricity for urban needs, and the coal is a burning in disaster for our environment. And considering the fact there are like lot of tier two cities, as you know, once this work from home started, most of the working people have been migrated from the tier one cities to tier two cities. That's the reason why the business model in the tier two cities have changed completely. And if you check, for example, if you are a working person who is working in Delhi and your home is in Haryana and you have been in Haryana for like almost 2 years, the local places, matlab, small tourist spots that became in a Haryana example that became very pretty famous. For example, the people who are working in homes, so they are like packed up with their work, and they used to go to the near around places which are the travel places, not mainstream. So they have been visiting those places, and there is a vibe in those places. There is a development in coming to tier two cities. So how we will adapt the electrical vehicles? So these are the questions. Even I can say, or you can say from your side. You can explain from your side. These are my opinions or my perspectives for each and every question. For every item what you have discussing here. And let's say about the EV. So what is the major difference between electrical vehicles and the fuel vehicles? So electrical vehicles, also referred to as a battery vehicles, uses a battery pack to store the electrical energy that powers the motor. EV batteries are charged by plugging the vehicles into an electrical power source. Although electricity production may contribute to air pollution, the US Environmental Protection Agency categorizes all electrical vehicles as zero emission vehicles because they produce no direct exhaust or tailpipe emissions. So, if you see, the major difference between fuel vehicles and electrical vehicles is electrical vehicles, they don't emit any kind of smoke or any kind of black pollution. But when you see electrical vehicles, of course, there is a little bit of pollution occurs when you're preparing the battery or the battery wastages. But while traveling the car or the bike, you're not actually emitting any kind of pollution. So that is what the best thing in electrical vehicles. And we'll check it out how these electrical vehicles works also. So you can see if you take this particular electrical vehicle, you can see if normal vehicle you'll have combustion engine and you keep a fuel here. And the fuel actually ignites the engine to pump or ignite the pump. It will create the spark and it will ignite the engine. Then it starts. But when coming to electrical vehicles, you can see these are the traction battery packs. These are the charging points. These are charging points. If you keep charging port here, it will actually charge all the batteries over here. And you have a transmission, you have an onboard charger, and you have an auxiliary charger. And there is thermal system cooling. Yes, same like in engine vehicles, fuel engine vehicles. Also, you have a cooling thermal systems in electrical vehicles, and you have a DC converter, and you have a power electronics controller and electric traction motor. So if you're much interested, you can actually study each and every particular part deeply. So if you are from electrical background, you would get much better idea with these names. It will be much familiar names. So you need not read the functionality of the electrical vehicles completely, but if you have a basic idea, it is well and good. So these are the key components of electrical vehicles. So battery, all electric auxiliary. In an electrical drive vehicle, the auxiliary battery provides electricity to power vehicle accessories. So that is the auxiliary battery does. The charge port allows the vehicles to connect and the external power supply in order to charge the traction battery pack. So as I mentioned, DC converter. This device, you might have read AC DC in your engineering electrical subjects. So this device actually converts higher voltage DC power from traction battery pack to lower voltage DC power needed to run vehicle accessories and recharge the auxiliary battery. And you have a electric traction motor. So using power from the traction battery pack, this motor drives the vehicle wheels. Some vehicles use motor generators that perform both the drive and regeneration functions. And you have onboard charger, as I mentioned. It takes the incoming AC electricity supplied via the charge port and converts it into DC power for charging the traction battery. So just go through it. Takes the incoming AC electricity supplied via the charge port. So once you the electricity you give through charging port, that is AC electricity, and it converts into DC power for charging the traction battery. It also communicates with the charging equipment and monitors battery characteristics such as voltage, current, temperature, and state of charge while charging the pack. And you have also power electronics controller. This unit manages the flow of electrical energy delivered by traction battery, controlling the speed of electric traction motor and torque it produces. And we have a thermal system, cooling system. This system maintains a proper operation temperature range of engine, electric motor, power electronics, and other components. And traction battery pack, which stores electricity for use of electric traction motor. So it is for the battery. It stores electricity for actually the electric motor it have. And the transmission electric. This transmission transfers mechanical power from the electric traction to drive the wheels. So this is what transmission does. It actually takes the electricity and it helps to rotate the wheels. So after once you give the AC electricity through your charging point, these converters will actually convert into DC, and these transmissions will allow rotation of these vehicles using this electricity. So these are like key components of the electrical car. So these are major parts of electrical vehicles. And if you go through each and every point over here, you can actually collect how these electrical vehicles works. And types of electrical vehicles, we have battery electric vehicles, which are BVs, or plug-in hybrid electrical vehicles or hybrid electrical vehicles. So what is battery electrical vehicles? So powered solely by electrical battery with no gas engine parts. Most BVs are capable of fast charging and L2 charging, zero emissions. It's a pure electric battery vehicles. Similar to hybrid, but with a larger battery and electrical motor, has a gas tank and charging point, can charge using electric chargers. If you see India, I think India there is only one hybrid vehicle, which is from MG. Everyone knows MG is a Hector, MG Hector car.
Yes, yes.
MG Hector have hybrid vehicles, but I liked it very much, but I didn't like the price. It's almost like 70 lakhs. 70 lakhs is, you have only one hybrid vehicle in India. That is, I think, MG MG hybrid vehicle. I'm not sure about the other companies, but only there are, I think, maximum five electrical vehicles in India. One is starting from Tata uh, Tigers,
Yeah,
what is
Tata
it?
Nexon as well as I guess
Yeah,
Tiger is also electric.
Tata Nexon is XUV type. There is a one car with the cost of 9 lakhs. I think that is the cheapest car. Starts with K, that is 9 lakhs. And the next is Tata Nexon. And you have electrical vehicles in MG. I think there are no electrical vehicles in Hyundai, Toyota, and Kia as well. So these are the Tata.
is actually coming with Tata already have around I think 700 charging stations in India overall. I think next 5 years Tata will invest a lot in electrical vehicles. Tata have announced it. So I think one start big player like Tata comes in. I think most of these type of auto vehicle mobility business will change, and by 2025 they will release 8 electrical vehicles. See, for example, recently I bought a car which is from Kia. I thought to take a Tata Nexon, but the problem is I thought it's very soon to buy electrical vehicle in India. That's the reason why I went for. Even I like to use electrical vehicles, but there are no charging stations. So, for example, if I want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore, which is around 550 kilometers, and electrical vehicles will give of maximum 300 kilometers range for the one fully charge. So it will halt my journey. So then I need to take a break. I need to charge my car. So if there is any kind of emergency, it will be tough. And the frequency of charging stations is not very much as like normal fuels. So that is the reason why I can go for electrical vehicle. Yes, in future might be after 5 years, if the electrical charging stations are much more in the country, I think I'll definitely buy one electrical vehicle. For the city usage, electrical vehicles is very good, but for the long journeys, you'll face a little bit of problem while buying the electrical vehicles. And you have also hybrid electrical vehicles, low emission vehicles that use an electric motor to assist gas powered engines. All engines comes from gasoline, cannot charge it. You'll go. So, as I mentioned, 10 million electrical cars on the world's road at end of 2020. These are like 10 million electrical vehicles are there in the world in the present scenario. But you will see also distribution of electrical vehicles owned by each and every country, so that we will also get to know which country is actually leading in electrical vehicles. So, any guesses which country is actually leading in electrical vehicles?
US
Okay, any other answer?
and China also, I guess. Like
Yes. And yes, China is actually leading in electrical vehicles. So, energy efficient EVs convert over 77% of electrical energy from the grid to power at the wheels. Conventional gasoline vehicles only convert about 12 to 30% of energy stored in gasoline to power at the wheels. So, yeah, electrical vehicles are environmental friendly. EVs emit no tailpipe pollutants. So, tailpipe pollutants are nothing but what you get the pollution from the silencer. That is, you call as a tailpipe pollutants. Although the power plant producing the electricity may emit them, electricity from nuclear, hydro, solar, or wind powered plant causes no air pollutants. So, performance benefits: electric vehicles provide quiet, smooth operation, the stronger acceleration, and requires less maintenance than internal combustion engines. So, which reduce energy dependencies. Electricity is a domestic energy source, and the problem with the switching to electrical vehicles in a country is infrastructure. We don't have a proper infrastructure for providing the electrical vehicles. For example, as I mentioned, there are no charging stations within 10 kilometers. Actually, if you see the fuel stations, you have at least one petrol bunk for every 2 kilometers or 5 kilometers, even in the highway. But we don't have such type of infrastructure for electrical vehicles in India. And the charging time, yes, if example, there are two type of charging points. One is fast charging and one is slow charging. Fast charging would really take like 1 hour to charge your vehicle, but usually normal charging takes like 8 hours. You have to charge overnight. If example, see, if you take the basic model of Tata vehicle, you have to charge for like 6 to 8 hours. So that is a major problem. So usually you charge overnight and use it in the morning. For example, my dad is working as uh, Chief General Manager in APPDCL, Electricity Board. So everyone are using electrical vehicles over there because there are no usually vehicles. Government officers use the vehicles in the morning time, and they keep the vehicles in the offices at the night time. So when they park there, they keep the charging, and the drivers will leave. And in the morning, they'll pick up the vehicle and they'll use for the domestic purposes. So that is how it happens. And the service of electrical vehicles, if you face any problem like service, any engine problem or any electrical problem, you there are no better mechanics for electrical vehicles. For example, if your car gets breakdown in the middle of the journey, so you definitely find a good mechanic, or at least a uh, mechanic who have basic knowledge in the rural areas also. But when coming to electrical vehicles, it is a little bit difficult to do service for your electrical vehicles. Yeah, but electrical vehicles have less maintenance when coming when compared with the normal fuel vehicles. So that is a good part. But if any problem faces, it is a major point. So if example Tata have one service. So if your vehicle ran out of electric charging, and you are stuck in from if example Delhi to Mumbai highway, you are in the middle of somewhere highway. So using your app, you can actually ping support system of Tata. They'll come to your place and they'll charge your vehicle, even in respect of wherever you are in the country. They'll come and they'll charge your vehicle, and if you face any issue, they can actually resolve it. So breakdowns and awareness. So assured government policy. So yes, India have announced that we will produce these many electrical vehicles. We will maintain these many electrical vehicle policies. But as of now, the implementation of this policy is not realistic. That is a major problem. Even if you take countries like Germany or in France, they have very good government policies. Yeah, even India also, they kept like there will be no road tax if you're buying electrical vehicles. But I think that is not sufficient enough to increase the vehicles. So you can see number of electric cars in circulation. You can see the China, US. This is Europe and others. You can check India is also comes into this part. So if you check, according to 2017 data, there are around 3 millions of electrical vehicles. In 3 millions, you can see like almost 1 million is from China. So that is how China is actually leading in electrical vehicles. And but you can see the good thing is the increase in electrical vehicle utilization is exponential. Definitely, yes, it is very good sign. The exponential increase in usage of electrical vehicles is very good. So if you check 2018-20, there will be much more increase in the usage of electrical vehicles. Hope India will also do a good job in transformation of this normal fuel vehicles to electrical vehicles. So let's see US plug-in electrical vehicles. These are the sales from 2012 to 19. You can check Chevrolet is major contribution. You have Toyota and Tesla is like holding fourth position. Ford. So these are the vehicles. But BMW is actually very less contribution in the electrical vehicles. So the most expensive part of EV is the battery, but with the more and more technological advancements, they are getting cheaper by day by day. So basically, electrical vehicles will have three basic components. One is energy storage unit, controller, propulsion system. So let's see. The energy storage unit will have way to store power. The chemical battery is the most common energy storage technology currently, although it can be different. For example, a fuel cell, which gets its electricity from the hydrogen rather than a battery pack, can be used instead of chemical battery as a energy storage unit. So what do the controller do? The controller acts as a pipeline or a gateway to the electric motor. The controller will do other things too. So like it moderates the power, will also act as a converter, converts power from AC to DC, as I mentioned, or it might also increase or decrease the amperage, etc. The control is like brain of the system. You can say you can say as a CPU is a brain of a computer, you can take like control is like a brain of electrical vehicle. So the electrical vehicle, which is a propulsion system, converts electric power and converts into physical energy for the movement. So uh, you're changing the form of the energy, you're changing your electrical energy into a physical work. That is nothing but you call them as a propulsion system. When someone asks you, or when you give an interviews to any particular companies, electrical vehicle companies, for any role, if you can say your perspective of electrical vehicles the task, or you can say the process of electrical vehicles, you can consider or you can conclude it as a propulsion systems. So yeah, I think for the people who have attended our last class, so or the tableau or other sessions, so Yulu is actually releasing this particular bike, which is Yulu Dex. So this is for delivery boys particularly. If example, I'm not sure in Delhi, but in Bangalore, most of the delivery guys, Swiggy, Zomato guys, they will use Yulu bikes only. Because the reason why is, if example, if he owns a bike, you have to fill at least 100 to 200 rupees petrol per day, and you have to deliver the food. But if he's using Yulu bike, and he can, for the 300 rupees he can book for the whole week. That is called LTR, long term rental. He can book for the whole week actually. Then he can use it. So here thing is, he doesn't need he doesn't have a problem like parking problem, and he can uh, travel from one place to other place very easily. And other thing is, it saves his money. So that is a major part Yulu is trying to solve. The example you can check here, they'll keep their baggage. When a big basket bag can also be sufficient here, but as of now, there are only few vehicles now. They're using normal vehicles only. They're keeping they before there used to be big place here, like for the older models, they used to keep the bags here. So now Yulu is trying to get this particular Yulu Dex bikes for the delivery guys. uh, and yes, that is I think I'm not sure whether you can find this bike in Delhi or not. I'm not sure whether they have kept pilot or not. So the work I do from the as I'm working as a lead data analyst in Yulu, so there are IoT sensors over here. There are IoT sensors over here. So you will get each and every ping, like location, what is the voltage, and how the vehicle is moving, and how many battery swaps are happening, how many bike swaps are happening. We get all the data from those IoT sensors, and we create a particular pipelines or data engineering platform to date particular in we bring the unstructured way to structured way. Then we do analytics, and then we predict, like if example a euro zone में bikes demand है. At this particular point there are 5 bikes. In other euro zone there are 3 bikes. No, यहाँ पे 3 bikes are enough, there we need 5 bikes. So what is the demand? It's called demand prediction. So what is the demand for the particular electrical vehicle at the particular zone? So these kind of work we do, and we do several kind of works. So we do uh, we do like we try to, as I mentioned, we try to bring the unstructured data into structured data. So and yeah, we are doing some battery degradation. If example, so these electrical bikes batteries are like your phone batteries only. So if your battery charging, phone charging is from 20%, 20 to 10%, it might take much time to get down. But if your phone charging is a 5% or 2% or 10%, it will drop immediately. So the degradation of the battery, and your battery performance will be different in now and 1 year back. So sometimes your battery might not perform well. So why, at what metric the battery degradation is happening? What are the batteries we need to replace? We're also trying to work these kind of similar problems. And if you are interested to work in Yulu, when it might be any other role, it might be operations, marketing, or anything. So what you people can do is You can go to here, Yulu. If you go to jobs here, there are many jobs here posted. There are interns, full-time jobs, many jobs. You can actually go through this particular job descriptions, and you can actually apply for the jobs. And you can mail me to this particular mail ID. You can ping me in LinkedIn also. You can mail to me this particular ID with your resumes, and it depends on the job you're interested in. Yeah, I think it's 4:10. I think we almost have completed for the half an hour session. I just want to make like don't want to make very long session as it is weekend for everyone. So if you have any questions, okay, like last 5 minutes, we are open for the questions. And you can follow me in LinkedIn, Insta, or Facebook. If you type Revanth GH, you can follow me. You, if there are any job requirements, I post it. You can actually apply for internships or any jobs that would help for your own career. Or you can ping me for any career guidance. I'm open to help you guys.
Everyone, please feel free to ask any questions,
If you
either
have
in the
any,
chat box
even
or
like
using
not only
anonymous.
particular to electrical vehicles, you can ask any kind of questions. Can you tell about EV conversion kits? Yeah, yes, EV conversion kits. My cousin is actually working on it. So there is something called biofuel also. So we make uh, fuel from the bio waste, or you can say vegetable oils. So if you, there is a one particular equipment, it is in Australia, but it is not there in India. If you just if you just keep at the beginning of the filter, instead of petrol diesel, you can keep the biogas also. It is very cheap. And yes, there is a lot of research going on these EV conversion kits. uh, I think it will come into market, like it might take 2 to 3 years for the particular EV. Many of my friends are also working on these EV conversion kits. So instead of completely buying electrical vehicle, EV conversion is not nothing but instead of completely buying new electrical vehicle, if you have your diesel car or petrol car, you can convert into a electrical car. So that is what EV conversion kit is. Any more questions?
So there's another question. How far is Yulu from getting listed at NSE or BSE?
So recently we have kept like Yulu max points. See, Euro launches mass charging points. So we have kept like 20. So this is like ATM. We have a batteries over here, and you go there and you just remove your battery and keep the new battery. So that is what they are doing. So now we are actually expanding these Yulu Max points to around 500 in the pan India. I hope so. I think it might take once these Max points are completely, we are converting from like vehicle providing to a battery providing company. I think then there will be a lot of demand for the battery. I think then there will be good for the uh, listing. So he's a CEO. His name is Amit Gupta. You can follow him in LinkedIn. And he's a CTO. His name is Naveen. So his name is Hemant. He's a head of operations. And he's RK Mishra. He's the one who take cares about these public policies and all these things. So these are the four people. I think it's their decision to when the company will go into industry. So this Amit Gupta, he is a founder of also Mobi9. He's like angel investor, so they invest in a lot of companies. They might not concentrate on particular NSC or IPOs, but they'll invest in different companies, and they'll expect a huge returns. And usually when a company goes into IPO is two things. One is either the company is becoming very large, another one is if there are losses for the company. And if you take example LIC used to be government PSU, right? So LIC is not able to maintain their business. So what they have done privatization and they're coming into IPO. So these are the two cases when a company comes into IPO. Just sorry, I'm not sharing the screen, right? Yeah.
So there was another pre-recorded question that how can an EC engineer enter in the automobile industry?
Yeah, there are even in the Yulu also there is uh, like lot of requirement. The person who understands the battery, the person who understands the person who understands the battery, and person who actually able to. If example in Yulu, we have a separate laboratory. The people who are actually only working on these batteries. It's like you feel like a normal science lab. You feel like it's a kind of engineering lab. Yes, there is a lot of requirement. For example, if you want to work in a battery or if you want to work in electrical, a little bit of basic knowledge will actually help you a lot. And yes, there is a lot of scope. And now there are very less electrical companies, but I think in the coming 2 to 3 years, I think there will be a lot of increase in the this electrical vehicles business.
Thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. Actually, sir, most of the students' queries have been already covered in your presentation. Like the most common questions that we got were already covered in your presentation.
Good, good. Okay.
And so, personally, I really liked the idea of the custom designed e bikes, Yulu decks. That's
Yeah,
really nice.
yeah, yeah.
And thank you, sir, for today. And thank you all for being such a great audience. Also, another important note, whoever would like to gain access to more useful resources or information and would also like to connect with us can join our community. The link for our WhatsApp group will be shared in the chat box. Thank you all for joining in, and thank you so much, sir, for such an amazing session.
Okay. I think I have shared the PPT also. One minute, I'll share again.
Okay, so the link for